Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on a 300 team here to get started for today. We're going to do 2 matches today because this is my double day. Well, I have 2 double days. It's the first day of this one. Plus, any other day that I decide to skip. I don't know, but this is typically my rotation. I'm sure that you've picked it up by now. We're going to line up the team and then bonk some units. It's always nice to see the hex straps in the front because that means that Edelgard can do her Edelgard thing. Otherwise, I'd probably have to break the, what's that thing called? Tactics room, and have Edelgard go in below Triandra instead. And that would be a little bit more difficult with the trap placements, but not impossible nonetheless. But we're gonna line it up, get going, and then disrupt stuff. I mean, that's really the goal. Man, I don't know why they played favorites so much with Crom and also Catra here. I just don't know what her best build is at this point. She just dies like all the time. It's really annoying. I would like her to survive and live a hit so that she can have some usability, but she just dies to everything these days, man. It's really annoying. But yeah, I don't know why they played favorites with Brave Crom so much, because Seliph just needed one thing in his refine, and that was tempo, and they just didn't give it to him. They gave him a bunch of other stuff that didn't really matter, like the miracle, not the miracle, the healing, the clash, the extra. Well, of course, that's naturally always going to get extra stats, but he just needed, literally, that's all he needed, tempo, and they just refused to give it to him, and it was just infuriating. I guess at some point, hopefully, they release a B skill that kind of fix that. But man, if they had given him tempo, he'd be so much better, man. Like, honestly. I know that you can mimic it with momentum, but that's really just primarily for the first hit.
Which path to take?
And personally, I would prefer getting the extra true damage instead from Assassin Strike to stack it up. But man, if he had tempo, he'd just go so much harder. Missed opportunity, a really big missed opportunity on that unit. Because you really don't want to run any blade skills on him. It just takes away from so many of his stats. A and B, A skill primarily. You can stack up. The fact that you can stack Excel, that's a big deal for him to get that much flat damage reduction. It just helps with the survivability. But if only he had tempo, man. Honestly. But yeah, that was a really big trap gamble because it would have make or break the play. But also I had contingencies set up with Asker warping and then dancing with Peony, but I didn't really want to do all of that. So good that the trap was fake. Gotta be a little bit careful here. I'm planning on leaving Peony for last. Everyone else is going to go, but I have to be careful with my to stay out of her range, which was the mistake I made in the other match, if you remember correctly from yesterday. But yeah, I'm doing what I should have done in that video. I'm just going to do it this time. Can't leave Seliph alive because too much movement. Catra has to go because dual unit. And Hortensia hits actually really, really hard. She's such a interesting flyer. I think the only thing she needs is DR piercing, but they just refuse to give that to flyers because it would be too much apparently. But yeah, Hortensia hits really high. I still have mine on the bench and I just do nothing with her. Literally nothing. I don't even and I don't hate her character. I get what she's about, but healers, man. Yeah, healers are just not in the greatest spot. Yeah, so that's the plan. And then get the pots, and then that's pretty much it. I did play my SDS matches. But I think what I'm gonna do is put that at the end of this video, because it's too much work to make a thumbnail, especially since I don't have to. Especially since there's nothing special. I didn't hit rank 1, so there's nothing special there. But I think what I am going to do, but there is some stuff that I want to just point out in the SD video. I think what I'm going to do is just put it at the end, so I don't have to make an extra thumbnail. I don't have to do the extra editing and upload a separate video, because at the end of the day, whether I add it to this video or make it a video on its own, it's still the same runtime. The only difference is it's 2 separate videos, which means extra work for me. So I'm just going to put everything in one video, just for this one. I don't know, maybe I'll do it different next time. And it's also because I've already swapped out some of the units, so it's not like I've already changed a bunch of stuff, so it's not the same as it was when I first started, or when I finished the SD run. I went back into SD regular just to play some matches for fun. Well, not necessarily for fun, to get Sita to 4,009, almost 5,000 at this point, man. It's so far. I'm at 2,000 something, and it is a lot of matches. Honest, I've already 68, 60 something matches.
Onward.
It's taken me almost, what, 3 months at this point just to get to where I am. I only play on the weekends, really. I don't really put a lot of effort into it otherwise. But yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to finish that out, because I really need someone other than Brave Edelgard to have max favor, because it's gonna make it difficult to get I think I said this before, it's gonna make it difficult to get the stuff, the rewards, in the future if it's only Edelgard. I'd like to have someone other than Sita as well. I don't know, just one other unit so that I can have my pick. Someone just close to around the figure so I can have my pick if it is that I want to, try to get the rewards. But man, it's tough. But yeah, anyways, fire everywhere. One other thing that I wanted to bring up is I was watching a Classroom of the Elite. It is very good. It's very, very good. It is. It really blew my mind in terms of what you can expect from just conversation. A lot. It's purely based on conversation. There's no action, real fight stuff. It's not like My Hero Academia, or it's not like Dragon Ball Z where it's fights. It's just conversations, and it watching it makes me feel so bad about the time I got reincarnated as a slime, because that has a lot of dialogue in it as well, but it was just done so poorly, man. I feel like they wanted to take too much of the, they didn't want to go the serious route with the time I got reincarnated as a slime, because it doesn't have that heavy feel to it, although you can really spin it that way if you wanted to. It's just about tone, and they really just got it wrong. But I'm going to keep talking about it in the next match. Let's load up one more. Okay, here we go. This is the other team. The one that you would have seen before. And here it is again. Get a little bit of time to set up here. Just gotta avoid Felix's range. And then, yeah, we're gonna go in. Should be straightforward. There's a spot here in the corner that is fairly safe to use. What would you do to fix this defense? You want to make it go potentially on turn 1. The problem is I'd probably swap. Well, it's solvable. You'd have to swap the positioning of Rima and Loki. Although it does leave, some more space open in terms of Loki's debuff and gravity and stuff. But if you could get Triandra to dance Felix on an early turn, or just a dancer trap, essentially is what I'm referring to.
Very well.
You could extend the range tremendously on this defense, and probably get a rally on Knot. You could definitely make it work, but that's just my thoughts on the matter. And also, Ike is completely exposed, like just completely exposed. But I guess, you know, Ike is Ike, but he dies through a lot these days. Even though I do struggle to beat him, the fortifications version of him, and a lot of people have him highly invested, so it's tough to take him out. But you can get it done. You just need to put more effort into it than you normally would have. Normally, it's just Baby Robin, and Baby Robin can just do it, but it's not enough anymore. You need to put extra work into it. But yeah, back to Classroom of the Elite. So
this is challenging.
I really hate cliffhangers, so I'm just going around watching everything that I'm repeating myself. Like I hate when I do that because it makes me seem uninteresting. But I've said all of this before. But this is in a different context. No, Classroom of the Elite. I haven't watched it before. I hadn't watched it before, so it's great because I just get to binge three seasons, which is what, 12 times 3, 36 episodes. No, it's like 13 really. What's that? 39 or so, math. And that's just 20 minutes an episode. It's at least a day. You can get it done in a day if you really have nothing else to do. And it was fantastic. It was so fun to watch all of it. It developed in such a brilliant way. I don't know, it's probably even better. It's easy to say that most materials are better if you read the novel format. Like a lot of movies that get adapted to, a lot of books that get adapted to movies, the books are generally better. It's very rare that you find a movie that's better, a movie or a show that's better than the content that came before it. So I'm just gonna leave that aside and just look at it for what it is. Classroom of the Elite.
Say the word.
I want to give it a 10 out of 10. It was so good. It's a psychological thriller. Is it a thriller? Drama thriller. Because a thriller means that people die, but no one has actually died so far. Maybe in the novel, the manga, maybe someone probably. I kind of see it leading up to that potentially, but it's high school kids, so but yeah, it's really, really good. Like, I'm like watching every single frame of the show just to make sure that I don't miss anything, and it's very hard to do because I don't speak Japanese. Like, I know like a few words, like baka, for instance, which is, I mean, universal at this point. And I'm just watching it, and then I'm trying to read at the same time, so like my two eyes are like moving up and down on the screen. And then I will get to the season finale, or at least to like the end of the subplot or the end of the main plot for a specific storyline, and I will be completely blown away by what is happening. Like, how did I not realize that this was going on? You know, aside from like things that get like off screen, like things will happen and then they'll get to the point in the story and they'll be like, oh, you know, I did this while you weren't paying attention, or I did this while we just cut out this part to conveniently solve this
it will be done.
specific mystery, and now I'm telling you about it because if I told you before it would be too obvious. Stuff like that. It's a lot like
what is it?
Alright, CSI, I would want to say, but for like high school, so no one actually dies. But it's really good, man. It's so good. It's an interesting concept that I've never seen before. I've never seen. It's classes fighting against each other without actually fighting. It's just like, how smart are you? And I've never seen it depicted in this way. It gives me some Dr. Stone vibes, but just better, man. It's just better. I don't really dig the main character all that much, if you know what I'm talking about. He has this I have no emotions type thing, and I'm just trying to figure out how to be a human. And I've never really gelled well with that archetype because it's so unrealistic. He always just has a plain face. I'd prefer if they made him more of a sociopath where he could, you know, mimic things. Which is such a weird thing to, why am I saying that? I prefer if he was a sociopath. But that's really, if he was that, then the character drama would sell a lot more with him in particular, because it would make him a lot more relatable, only for him to then do things that betray the viewer. Like, I felt betrayed when I saw how he was treating his friends. Like, oh my god, he's just using everybody.
Yes.
And he's doing it fantastically, even though they're also using him as well. But it's just so good. But yeah, if you haven't watched it, highly recommend. And then I finished that, and then what I wanted, it made me want to go back and watch that one movie, Gone Girl, with Batman. Well, one of the Batmans, Ben Affleck. Gone Girl. That was such a. It made me want to go back and watch that because it gave me a lot of the same vibes. Very intense in that way. And then it also made me want to watch.
Into the surf.
Man, I can't remember it right now. But there was something else that crossed my mind after I finished watching that show. But yeah, really good. Don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I think what I want to do is rewatch Gone Girl and then transition to something else. I also watched Haiku. Haiku. I don't know if that's how you say it, but the volleyball anime. I didn't enjoy it. It was good, but I felt like you have to watch everything that came before it for you to understand what was going on in that show, in that movie. I thought it would have been the last. I thought that would have been it, but apparently it only covered that specific match, and there's gonna be more before they wrap up the series or the animation aspect of it. At least I think the manga is already done, but they have more episodes to put out for animation. Disappointing. It wasn't that great. Like it wasn't that great. I guess like looking back at it, it did have a lot of.
We mustn't get lost.
I hate like watching it now made me realize that I rated Haiku, the original version, a little bit too highly. Maybe because I've matured a lot more and I'm no longer in that same mindset. I watched it like way back when I was like 19, and I'm like, that's like a long time ago. A long time ago. So yeah, it didn't hit the same, and that I didn't like that for me personally, because I rate the original, the animation, very highly. And then I also watched what was it? I watched one other thing. Oh, the animation about Kickback? Is that what it's called? Kickback? Or is Kickback a song? Look Back. Look Back. I also watched Look Back. That was pretty cool. Interesting. Artists, like people that draw or people that are within that space, animation space, they probably would really appreciate that one. I can definitely get like how they would go into that and then come out of it thinking that, oh man, this is dope. It was alright, not the craziest thing for me at least, but it was good. And that's about it. I haven't done anything else. I've just been laying back, trying not to stress myself out too much because I wasn't like 100%, but and then I played Summer Noodles.
Good morning.
I'll talk about that in a bit. We're pretty much done here after we get the pots. It looks like I could have cleared this one in one turn if I had set it up to get the other pot, but it's okay. We still get it anyways. Yeah, man.
Say the word.
I saw DTM hit rank 1, so that was fun. And then I watched Joel's stream. I don't know what Joel does with his units anymore because he doesn't even play Summoner Duels anymore, but I don't know, man. GG's. Alright, so this is the SDS portion of the video. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Ponza-Loki, man. Ponza-Loki was so frustrating. I'm still trying to get to tier 11 and I just can't. But yeah, here are the teams. Very, 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 I just love so much this first team. It was a ton of fun to use. Celine, so much fodder. It takes a lot of fodder to get her to work, but once you've made the investment, man, she's very similar to Micaiah, but Micaiah I feel is just better. versatility-wise, Makai just is better, but Saline is still very good. Tharja put in a lot of work. I was very surprised. And then Nagi does what Nagi does. I benched... who did I take out there? Elencia, legendary Elencia from that team. That's who's missing in that spot. Hearthfelger with Potent put in a ton of work. Nurgle, Bernadetta, fantastic combination. And Makai here to have a dual unit on the board as well. This team, this Pathfinder team, I didn't really use it. It's not a bad team, but I wasn't really interested in using it. Not a fan of this unit, this Nethany, but dual unit, so I just threw her in. And then here Sigurd, didn't use this team, even though it was available a couple of times, but I just didn't want to use it. And then my Sita team got banned every single time. Every single time it got banned. And the reason is because of the combination of units. If you see this team, you definitely want to ban it, because I'm telling you it's powerful. It's very, very good. Especially with Felix. Combination is so powerful, but almost made rank 1. And the reason I didn't make rank 1 is because I got fried at the end. My brain was just... I was overworked. I overworked my sick brain, and I got cooked. We're going to look at the losses primarily, but I got cooked because I got tilted after a couple of the losses, after playing for like, I want to say 2 hours, which I really should not have done without taking a break. I really should have taken a break and then continued on Sunday, because as I replay these, you're going to see like key mistakes that I just would not normally make if I was thinking through my plays clearly, which I was not doing. So this was the first loss, and this one was I just got out-teamed. He had teams that countered pretty much every one of my teams, and I didn't realize how much Thor here, dual Thor, impacted this team. And really all of my teams, because all of them rely on extra movement. So I really should have just banned this Thor team, but the other options just were not fun to deal with either. The problem here is that I cannot take out Myr for the life of me. It's impressive that just Hardy Fighter, Shield Fighter Myr is able to live Bernie, which is quite a surprise with the Deflect Missile. Very surprised that was enough to stop me. And then my only other option would have been to get Hearthfelger in to take out Micaiah, because Micaiah had the most threat range. Once I could take out Micaiah, it should have been smooth sailings from there, but Stall is crippling my entire team, because Hearthfelger gives out that +1 movement, and yeah, it is, I'm getting crushed here because of it. Thor just existing, and it's pretty much crippling my team. If I had Ardent, whatever Micaiah's perf special is, that would have helped me out here a ton, but I took it out for reposition, so yeah, I ended up surrendering here because I really just didn't have a way to get through. This is just a wish I had banned that moment. So that was the first loss. I just accepted that one. That was fine. And then this loss here was when I started to tilt, because I really should have won this match. I should not have lost this one. I just made misplay after misplay for no apparent reason, aside from the fact that I was just 2 hours in and exhausted. It is a mentally draining game mode. If you're not paying attention to what your capacity is, here it is, that's the mistake there. I didn't realize that dagger had not moved. Easy start there, no reason to not take that. I wasn't even trying to bait. I was gonna I could have done that in a different direction, but then I could have just not done that at all, and I would have been fine. And there was also opportunity for me to recover, but I also failed at doing that because I big throw, massively throw this match at the end with a positioning misplay here. I also had the opportunity to take out Edelgard here, and I also failed to do so. on a follow-up here. Not this matchup, but in the next turn. If I had just gone in with Hearthfulger right away and taken out Edelgard, that would have been a captain kill and secured me the points that I needed to win. But Nithavelier is the one that was really just stopping me from finishing this off. Missed opportunity before to take out Edelgard. I could have done it at the start of the turn, but I failed. I missed my chance, and then massive misplay right there. As you can see, he's gonna snipe my captain, and not enough points on turn 5 to make it work. And then I can't get over there. I can't get over there to, yeah, and massive throw on my part. Again, mentally taxing. If you're not paying attention to what your thresholds are, you'll run out of mental stamina, and you make mistakes, and that's essentially what I did. And it's, as you can see, back-to-back losses because I was tilted at that point, and it was very difficult for me to get back into the game. And that was 3. This is number 2. This is a team that I should not have lost to. With what I brought to the table, I shouldn't have lost to this because I have range superiority against this team. And early snipe here, backing out, should have been enough for me to win this. They do get a kill here in on me. That it's totally fine. The problem here, or the reason I lost this one, is because I did not remember that Beefcake's here, Pizaji, she has a Pathfinder. Yeah. I did not expect that to happen, and yeah, that pretty much cost me the game. But that wasn't the immediate throw. That was not the immediate throw there. You're gonna see the throw, the thing that cost me the game in a bit here, because not only, well, I didn't even realize at that point when I lost that unit that Pizazi had Pathfinder. It's later on when I throw the game. It's later on that I realized that she had Pathfinder. You missed right there, or I was showing right there that Hearthfulger can cleanse dual Leons and turn effects. That's what I was showing just now. That's why Micaiah has her action back. But that placement right there, massive misplay from me. And you see that he can't reach, but this is where I realized that Pizazi has Pathfinder, because of that brilliant play there from my opponent to catch me out there. I didn't need to put Hearthfulger there. If I had known that she has Canto, I would have done something else, but had Pathfinder, I would have done something else, but I forgot. And when you're tilted, you make mistakes, and that cost me the game. Because I didn't need to lose that. I was not supposed to lose this match. So that's a throw, another throw, and then this was the last match. And as you can see, I was 1 win away here from me reaching rank 1. But I was not in any mental state to take on this opponent. Because I don't want to say he outplayed me, although I guess to an extent he did on this first play, where I put Bernadetta in the worst possible position because it's outside of the Canto control, which is kind of what I wanted to get, but he capped that space perfectly, and I didn't cover it. And then from here, I was fine with losing the units that I lost. It wasn't a problem. The problem was I really wanted to get Nidavellir off the map. He was being a pain. The problem was, as you'll see a little bit further down, I throw Hearthfulger across the map into Canto control for no reason. I should have tried a little bit harder to get Nurgle in, but this play right here, there was no reason for me to do that. I could have stalled a bit more, try to get a captain kill at some point, but yeah, as you can see, that was not the correct decision for me. But at the time, my brain was gone. I was not functioning fully. I was probably at like, what, 30% of my mental capacity, and I was making a ton of mistakes. But yeah, man, I need to learn when to stop when I'm tired. I've had this problem with other games as well. It's not just a Faith thing. I used to do it in FIFA when I used to play FIFA online a ton, Ultimate Team. And I did it like when I used to play Pokemon Online as well. It's just I need to learn when to stop. But yeah, man, I don't want to call it a choke. This was just a big throw. And the thing about it is, when you play tilted, you don't enjoy the game because you're not in it. You're not playing. You're not having fun. And it's not the way that you want to go about it. You really just need to stop and then come back refreshed at some point later on. And that's really what I should have done. You see here a lot of the usual suspects. Eon's Diamond there. He ran it with Boulder, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I saw. But Ignis does the job nonetheless. A lot of really... Ooh. Nice. Does this even work? I have this Lucina, this Realm Lucina. I have no idea what to do with her, aside from using her as a fodder factory. Eventually, there'll be there already is a weapon that she can, a rearmed axe that she can get, and maybe that increases her damage output. That's really the thing that she's kind of missing at this point. But I don't know what to do with her, man. But yeah, as you can see, the usual suspects here. I benched this Alir because the right skills just aren't in the game yet for her to work. So I just benched her. Even though I do think she is really close to being like top tier. I don't think Joel plays SD anymore, and it makes me sad. I love to watch him suffer in SD, but I don't think he plays this or SDR anymore, and it's pretty sad. Which I was saying earlier, I don't know what he even does with his fodder at this point, or his units, because he doesn't really. I mean, he does play Ether raids, but he already scores pretty well, so it's really easy for him to get rank 1. So what are you even doing with your units at that point? That's just me wondering. But I don't know. It's none of my business really. But yeah, that Alir just the cusp right there. Patrick hitting rank 1 with his Nerthus that he got at +10. That A skill really works well for her because their biggest problem is sometimes not being able to transform, and that solves it. Although the damage reduction from Excel is a big thing as well, but yeah, man, it works out either way for her. +10 is also really good. I don't know what to do with her. The Nerthus, New Year's, and Summer. I just don't know what game mode to put her in. But yeah. That's pretty much it, man. I stressed myself out playing SDS. My fault, I guess. GG's.